Hello everyone, it's Sat Teacher here, and today's lesson is going to be on subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Let's start learning. Welcome back to our channel everyone, thank you for tuning in to today's lesson. Now, learning to subtract fractions with unlike denominators is an essential skill that all students need to master. Not only will this assist them during their class, it will assist the students in their everyday life. For example, baking a simple cake requires an understanding of adding and subtracting fractions. With that said, let's dive straight into the lesson. Now, our first question that we're going to demonstrate the strategy here is 1/2 take away 1/4, or 1/2 take away 1/4. Now, the first thing we need to do is ensure that our denominators are exactly the same. If our denominators are not the same, the subtraction will not work. So our first step is to make sure our denominators, the bottom number in the fraction, is exactly the same. Now, as you can see, we have 2 on the left side and 4 on the right side. Let's start with the smaller number. We're going to see if we can multiply the 2 by something to equal 4. Now, if you understand your times tables, this is going to be automatic for you, and you will know that if we times 2 by 2, that is going to equal 4. Now, one of the golden rules when we're dealing with fractions is whatever you do to the denominator of your fraction, you need to do the exact same thing to the numerator or the top number in your fraction. So in this case, we need to multiply the 1 by 2. So we have 1 times 2 and 2 times 2. Now, I highly recommend when you're working this out on your worksheet or your book that you rewrite the new fraction neatly somewhere on your page completely separate. What this will do is eliminate simple errors that often occur when the work is all over the place. So we have rewritten our new fraction here, which is 2/4 take away 1/4. Now we can start our subtraction because our denominators are now the same. So another golden rule when you're subtracting fractions is we do not subtract the denominator. They stay exactly the same. The only thing we are going to subtract here are your numerators. So it's simple subtraction. 2 take away 1, that's going to be 1. So our fraction here, the answer to our question is going to be 1/4, or that is also called 1/4. So I'm going to demonstrate this model a few times just so you can learn and understand from me, so that you can consolidate your understanding so that you will be able to do this. Now, the next question is 2/3 take away 2/9. Remember, the first thing we need to do is ensure that our denominators are exactly the same. Start with the smaller number and see if you can multiply to equal the larger number. So we're going to start with the 3 here. What can we multiply the 3 by to equal 9? It's not going to be the 2 times tables because 3 times 2 is going to be 6. Like I said, if you practice your multiplication tables or your times tables, you will know automatically that 3 times 3, so 3, 6, 9, is going to equal 9. Remember, whatever we do to the denominator, in this case, we're multiplying it by 3, we need to also do the same thing, multiplying the 2 by 3. So whatever you do to the bottom number, our denominator, you need to do exactly the same thing to the numerator. Now, like I said, find a new place on your worksheet or in your maths book to rewrite the question. This will make it so much easier and eliminate simple errors which can happen when your work is a little bit messy all over the shop, little multiplication symbols on it, all that stuff you will avoid if you rewrite it nice and neat, just like I have on the screen. So now we have our new fraction in red, 6/9 take away 2/9. Remember, we do not subtract the denominators. They stay exactly the same. The only thing we are going to subtract here are your numerators, the top number in the fraction. So 6 take away 2, that's simple. It's going to be 4. So your answer here is going to be 4/9. Now I'm going to show you one more example, and the title of this slide is called Always Simplify. Because when we're working with fractions, it's important to achieve the simplest fraction possible, because that is going to be the most correct answer. In some classrooms, if you don't simplify your fractions, your teacher, especially in the older grades, might give you only half the marks or mark your work completely incorrect, which we don't want. So I tell the students in my class, even if you're not sure, always simplify. If your fraction can be simplified, you need to do that. So let's follow the same processes here. We have 2/4, take away 2/8. Start with the smaller number. Can we multiply it by something to equal 8? We know that is going to be 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. Whatever you do to the denominator, you need to do to the numerator. So we're timesing that by 2. Rewrite it somewhere neat, somewhere free where there's no working out, so that you have a nice clean question here. We do not subtract the denominators, we only subtract the numerators. So like I was saying, 4 take away 2, that's going to be 2. Now, like I said, if you left your answer here as 2/8, it is technically half correct, but some teachers will mark this incorrect because it's not the simplified version of this fraction. So we need to think, what is the largest number that can be divided by both the 2 and the 8? So what number can we divide both the 2 and the 8 by evenly with no remainders? So every number, a whole number, can be divided by 1, but we can do one better. We can divide the 2 by itself. So we can divide 2 by 2, and we can also divide 8 by 2, because we have 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 is a multiple of your 2 times tables. So we're looking for the largest number that can be evenly divided by both of these numbers. So the highest common factor. That answer is going to be 2. So what we need to do here is simply divide both our numerator and denominator by the number 2, rewrite it somewhere neat. That answer is going to be 1/4 once you have divided both your numerator and your denominator by 2. Now, I have included a few questions for you to do at home. As always on this channel, I like to include some work for the students, of course, with answers. Now, if you're unclear about anything, flick back through the video and ensure that you understand how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Follow the processes, start the video again, whatever you need to, and I'm going to give you time to do that. So grab a pen, grab a paper, work these questions out. I'm about to show you the answers on the next slide. Now, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching the lesson. It really helps me create content and get more lessons out there, a bit of motivation. So thank you. If you've seen this, thank you very much. Now, here are the answers to your questions for the students at home. Hopefully you would have absolutely nailed this. I know that if you followed the simple steps and processes to subtract fractions with unlike denominators, you would have had a high level of success, and I know that you would have gotten all 4 questions correct. So thank you for tuning into today's lesson. It's That Teacher. We will see you in the next lesson.